jerk off material is different than chatting someone up.
What if I was doing that?
Don't even fucking get me started on this.
Like, I just don't think they're that important.
Stop.
Okay, this is Am I the Asshole that I found. So...
Okay, the title is, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Husband I'm No Longer Attracted to Him? The title makes me instantly sound like an asshole, and I'm aware of that. For some context, it slowly started after our second kid. Second child is almost 3, and youngest is 4 months old. After our second child, he was sending messages to IG models about how beautiful they were, and one reached out to me to let me know. Of course, he denied it, but she sent me screenshots, so there was proof. While I was pregnant with our youngest, he was hitting on a coworker and taking her on lunch dates. He doesn't know I know about this because I never said anything because I knew he would lie and I was over it. This last incident is what pushed me to no longer find him attractive and just see him as a creep. I walked up behind him and he was going through a girl's OF content. Normally I would not care, but he paid to view her stuff. When I asked to see his phone, he tried exiting really quickly, but I grabbed the phone anyways. He had been searching this girl on Facebook, Instagram, and OF and went as far as creating an account and paying to view her photos. This last one just made me look at him different, and I no longer find him attractive and told him this. He thinks I'm overreacting and an asshole for saying he isn't attractive to me anymore.
Oh, yeah. So this one was interesting because as a OnlyFans girl, you would be on the other side of that situation if that was a situation. So, yeah, what do you think? Is he the asshole?
This one is hard for me being the one on the other side. He obviously wasn't looking at me, but just saying. In my personal opinion, as someone who, like, I'm a mom, I've obviously been in a relationship.
Well, take the OnlyFans bit out of it. What?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If I was a mom with young children and I caught my husband, the father of my children, looking at models, talking to, engaging with models on the internet, I would be upset.
So what if I was doing that?
Depends on why you were talking to them. Like if you were trying to hook up or something, I wouldn't love that. Without you consulting, just tell me, you know?
Well, yeah, so obviously I talk to OnlyFans people every day, but that's our job.
Yeah, so
but
it's kind of like what we talked about in the last episode. It's like if you have needs, like just talk to me. I might be more open to it than you think.
Well, yeah, but so that's why it's a problem though, because if I was like sneaking around and like trying to like,
yes,
there's a certain like context matters in the situation. So
well, and anytime there's children involved too, that is a big factor. It complicates a lot because if there's not an agreement that that's okay, you're not just affecting your relationship between each other. There's like other beings involved and they're in their formative years, blah, blah, blah. And it can affect them forever depending on how that pans out. It can go really south.
Okay, so let's add another layer of it to the situation. So obviously this guy is like, maybe he loves his wife, maybe not, whatever. But either way, he's like going around and these are the things that she caught him doing, but chances are he's doing a lot more than that. Yeah, but this guy sounds like one of those guys like we were kind of talking about on the other podcast where he like doesn't understand that OnlyFans is like an entertainment platform. Like he thinks it's a dating platform and he's like trying to actually like link up with whoever he's talking to.
Yeah, I don't know the context of obviously what he's doing on OnlyFans, but if he's actively like trying to hide it, because I feel like even if she walked up and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like looking at some tits or something, he could be like, oh, babe, I'm just kind of.
Yeah, but I feel like probably 99% of women wouldn't be of the mindset that you're in. Like, oh, just communicate about it and it's fine. Like most women are not going to be okay with that.
I mean, I get it. I used to be very much more territorial, I guess, and jealous. And I'm not saying that I'm not jealous. I do have a jealous stripe in me for sure. But it's like, it's definitely evolved as I've gotten older. Like I was a jealous bitch when I was younger, big time. But so yeah, if my 25-year-old self caught you looking at OnlyFans, I'd be like unhinged. But now, I don't know, you look at OnlyFans all day and I'm like, don't think twice about it. I do not care.
Yeah. All right. So the next one here. Okay. So this is one that you picked out.
Oh, this one is a fucking hilarious.
All right. So read this one.
Okay. So the title is, Am I the asshole for being upset with my girlfriend after I felt sick during sex? This is probably so stupid and petty, but I made this because I need to vent. So I, 24 male, and my girlfriend, 24 female, were in the middle of having sex, and I suddenly got this terrible stomach cramp. I told her I was not feeling well, and she was kind of almost annoyed, and so I went into the bathroom to try to get out whatever gas or pain or whatever, and was just like, sorry, I'll be right back. I don't know what the fuck was happening to me, honestly, but basically I just felt like I had a terrible pinch in my stomach. After about 20 minutes of being in there, hurled over the toilet and sweating, I'm kind of thinking like, damn, it sure would be nice if my girlfriend came in here to make sure I was okay. I just kind of sat there in pain until the stomach pain eventually eased up a bit, and I drank some water and was confused by what was going on with me, but also a little thrown off that my girlfriend didn't seem to care. So I go back into our room and she's laying there out of breath with her vibrator and just looks up at me and says, I just came 3 times. Now I understand that I interrupted the sex and maybe blue balled her or whatever, but I just was so kind of hurt that she was so uncaring and just stayed there and self-pleasured herself while I was in pain. And I brought that up and she just got all defensive and said, I was being selfish. What the fuck? Am I the asshole? Edit. I definitely made it clear that I was in pain before I went to the bathroom and I was in there for long enough to warrant a checkup. The thing that's really bothering me, I guess, is that she kept pleasuring herself. And that the first thing that she said wasn't, are you okay? But rather, I've had 3 orgasms, like, question mark.
Okay. So my reaction. God. So anybody who knows me, like in real life, knows that my biggest pet peeve is like people that get butthurt and offended over dumb shit. And so the fact that this guy's so butthurt and offended over that, like, already just makes me hate this guy. Like, I just would not get along. I don't get along with people like that.
What do you mean? I'm just in the bathroom and you're not going to come and check on me? So, and then he's mad because she came and he didn't.
Yeah, so let's see what these people say. If my ass is potentially exploding, the last thing I want is my girlfriend popping her head. Yeah, exactly. As a wife married to a man for 17 years, if his stomach runs enough to run to the bathroom, I'm going to give him as much privacy as he needs, unless he's screaming for me. I don't want to hear, see, smell. I'm positive he wouldn't want me to either.
That would be me.
That's what most people would assume. So for him to assume the opposite is ridiculous.
Well, and I don't know. They're not even that young. He's 24.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys let us know what you think in the comments. Maybe we're the assholes, or I don't know. But anyway. All right, the next one we got, cheat codes for life.
Okay, this one, I think they deleted the original post. It was only like 1 sentence. I can't remember what exactly it said, but it was just like, what would you say is a cheat code for life that like just isn't an obvious?
Okay, so if I'm understanding you, the question is basically like, what are some cheat codes for life?
Yeah. What thing other than drugs feels like a cheat code for life?
Okay. Being born into a wealthy family, I mean,
Yeah, money definitely helps things, but it also hurts things sometimes, depending on whose hands it ends up in.
yeah, I think people that are born, yeah, I think that's actually a reverse cheat code. Like it makes you weak. And like if you're born into a rich family and everything's just kind of taken care of for you and you never have to do anything, and then like you don't have any skills, you're not able, like, I think, yeah, like that's why anybody who's born into like rich families or famous families, like the kids usually end up as drug addicts or like,
Half of the time. We can't say everyone.
well, not everyone, but I would say there's a pretty significant percentage of like parents that worked really hard to become rich and then the kids end up as fuck ups because, yeah, I don't know. I disagree with all the wealth ones. I think it has the reverse effect more often than not. Let's see.
Good consistent sleep. I'm really bad at it, but it feels like magic whenever I do pull it off for a while. I haven't been sleeping for a long time. Like, I used to be such a good sleeper that I would almost like brag about it. And I feel like the universe is coming back and like just biting me in the ass right now because I haven't had good proper sleep for months and months. And so like I've tried melatonin,
I don't know why you still won't try the Tim Ferriss potion.
because it fucking stinks.
Okay, well, for anyone who wants to try the Tim Ferriss potion, it's apple cider vinegar. I think it was like 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar,
Honey.
1 tablespoon of honey, and hot water or warm, hot water, basically. And that works.
Yeah, so maybe I'll try it because I've been having like proper insomnia lately, but that is a cheat code. Good sleep changes your outlook on life for real.
I think it makes a big difference. Working out for at least 20, like just like a light workout for 20 minutes when you wake up makes a huge difference. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Okay, so this is some OnlyFans. So this one was a YouTube comment. Okay, Sahara of the Deep. She wrote this comment either on the podcast or on my other channel, can't remember. But her comment basically says, I used to, so this is for all the OnlyFans creators. She says, I used to try not to post anything too thirsty, and my accounts didn't grow at all till I started posting thirst traps and artistic lewds. All that aside, I still haven't seen enough growth, but I bring it up because I'm skeptical whether staying away from the thirst traps is actually a good idea for people in every niche. I'm an e-girl cosplayer gamer, and I feel that it's terribly difficult to get any views on my safe for work posts, and I also only see carryover on posts where it teases cleavage. I still continue to invest large amounts of time and money into my costumes and the fun, nerdy stuff, but only because it's fulfilling to me. I think a lot of guys just want to see hot waifus and sex elves, and that's my target audience. I don't know why I should avoid blatant thirst traps in this niche. Okay, so I thought this was a good one because for anyone who watches my stuff on YouTube, I'll generally say when it comes to OnlyFans marketing, I'll generally say that it's a bad idea to do kind of blatant thirst trap style of content. And there's some distinctions here, which she kind of answered in her own comment, in her own question. And for anybody who's in the course, they kind of know this already, but the distinction here is that social media, for anybody who does OnlyFans, they already know social media platforms generally have different rules for different people. Some people can get away with stuff, others can't. So when I'm saying this, you shouldn't do blatant thirst trap types of content. Basically what I'm saying is if you have 2 creators, and let's imagine that one creator is doing all of the blatant thirst trap style of content. They're using all of the standard, sounds and songs that all of the OnlyFans girls use, and she's just doing all the standard OnlyFans style trends, then, if she's doing that on TikTok or whatever, TikTok is going to look at that creator and they're going to say, okay, who is this creator? She is an adult creator. All she's trying to do is funnel traffic to OnlyFans, and therefore we're not going to give her traffic anymore. And in those cases, those accounts will generally get throttled and they won't get any views. So yeah, on the other hand, if you have a creator and she's doing, yoga based content, and the entire account is basically just doing yoga poses and all this stuff, but obviously she's doing those yoga poses in a sort of thirst trap kind of way. TikTok is going to look at the creator and they're going to say, okay, who is this creator? Okay, it's a yoga person. She creates content about yoga. And therefore, she's going to be able to get away with a little bit more, thirst trap type of stuff, because she's not just a blatant OnlyFans creator trying to funnel traffic to OnlyFans. So in the case of this comment, because it's a sort of niche account, the sort of e-girl cosplay type of account, that is a particular bucket, or that is a particular niche. And therefore, if you're getting into a niche, into a certain category, and TikTok can say, okay, this is a cosplayer, in that case, it can be okay to, create content that's a little bit more on the risky side, because it's not just a blatant, it's not just a blatant standard OnlyFans trend that all of the OnlyFans girls use to funnel traffic to OnlyFans. So there's a little bit of a distinction there. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's, I thought that was a good one, because that is kind of confusing to kind of, know what the difference is there.
By the way, if you want to join us in the OnlyFans Level Up community, that is where I share all of my best secrets and strategies for OnlyFans creators, many of which are hitting really big numbers, as you may have seen from various guests on this podcast. But either way, it's a great place to be if you want to network or learn all of the best secrets and strategies to grow your OnlyFans account. You can find all of that information with the link down in the description below. But for now, back to the podcast.
Okay, so the next one we got here. Oh, so this is one of the ones you got. So yeah, you can read this one.
Okay, so this one, she says, the title is Suffering from Success. Anyone else? First, I'm not bragging. Genuinely just need advice and help. I feel miserable. So I've been successful for a year in this. So much so that I've been able to quit my job and just do this full time. The problem is that I now feel tired all the time. I barely have any energy to do much, and it's not because of my work. I barely work in my eyes. Work in quotes. I barely work in my eyes. I wake up late. I struggle to get out of bed. In my head, I think there's no point because I have nothing to do. I don't have a schedule because I make passive income, and sometimes I just sit on my phone all day. I feel empty/vacant, almost like I'm just a hamster that's been plucked off a wheel, if you get what I'm saying. I never used to be like this. I do go to the gym twice a week, but I live in LA and I just hate it here so much. I never want to go outside because it's disgusting and people are awful. I just sit up in my apartment and waste away, basically. How do you guys get back that, quote, spark in life? I'm thinking I just need to move the fuck out of LA so I can actually go outside and enjoy it, but I don't know anymore. Please, does anyone else feel this way? And then she says, edit, thanks so much for the advice. It was nice to vent, read all the comments. I went out and bought 2 books, A Court of Thorn and Roses, and the second one. Ordered some vitamins from Amazon, got a schedule started, and we'll look into a tiny vacation somewhere in nature soon.
So what would you say are some, like, not just the guru answers, but like actual things that have helped, like going on a walk, or like what the Daddy Joe helps a lot with you. What is Daddy Joe for people? Because they're going to be like, Daddy Joe, what the fuck?
Well, I feel like I've mentioned him in all the podcasts lately. Daddy Joe is, I didn't come up with that term. There's a girl on TikTok. I don't know what her name is, but she calls him Daddy Joe. And so I just call him Daddy Joe. So if you run into that, someone saying that's her, whatever her name is. But his name Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he just does incredible work. He wrote several books, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And so I'm currently going through a couple of his courses, and I love it, but I fucking hate meditating. It's so hard for me. And I can honestly say, like, I've tried several different programs, meditation styles and such over the years, and his is the most palatable for me. It like just resonates with me better than anything I've ever found. So I don't even have to do it every single day. I want to, but I notice a difference even when I am not doing it daily. It makes that big of a difference. Just like even looking through the coursework, just like absorbing the good stuff into my brain to try to help me just like have my eyes open the way that I want them to be, and like see things through a more just open-minded lens, because depression can definitely like narrow your focus. And so I find that extremely, extremely helpful. And then just kind of remembering, with that, it helps me to remember what I'm after. Like, what am I doing? Why did I start this? Why do I have this business? And so it helps me to just kind of, even if it's just for a day or something, helps me to focus my attention there. And then that kind of like helps put a fire under my ass for the day, at least.
Yeah, so I'll mention two things. So Simon Sinek, that's how you say his name, right? Simon Sinek. So what's his book? It starts with why, which is basic. So these questions are usually all kind of go back to that. It's like, go back to your why, why are you doing it, and visualize those reasons to make them real again. So going back to your why is a big thing. And then there's also this, I was telling you about this book the other day, it's called The Second Mountain, which is basically like, with all of us, when we start these different side hustles and these businesses and stuff, most of the time, the first mountain, the first business, the first side hustle is going to be self-serving. Its primary purpose is to get us out of survival mode, to get an income, to have financial security, stability, whatever. And then that's kind of what they refer to as the first mountain, becoming financially successful or creating a business that's basically self-serving is its primary purpose. And then for anybody who's climbed that first mountain, once you get to the top of that first mountain, you realize what we all know, the cliche of like, it doesn't make you any happier. Like all these things that you think you want, which you do objectively need to be financially secure and all these things. It's important to climb that first mountain, but when you get to the top, you soon realize that it doesn't make you any happier than you were before. And so the second mountain is this concept of like, okay, so now that I'm financially secure, how do I get life fulfillment? And so that's really what the second mountain is all about, is like creating, basically creating a life, climbing this second mountain. And the second mountain, its purpose is of service, to either, serve other people in some way or do something that's going to give your life purpose or fulfillment and things like that. So to simplify the entire thing, it's basically just saying to, find a worthy challenge or a worthy goal or a worthy pursuit that's going to give you some kind of meaning or purpose, and then pursue that. So for me, I kind of mentioned this on our previous podcast a little bit, but like I view all of these kind of side hustle businesses as like the cash cow, but it's not, I don't really look at those things as like a thing that I'm going to be happy. It's not going to make me happy. I use the money from those things to fund, the things that I'm my passion projects and things like that.
Yeah, some of us don't know what that is for us, though. I can honestly say that I haven't like fully rooted into like what my life's purpose is either. And like, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. Sometimes it makes me feel a little insecure, if I'm honest, just because I feel sometimes I'm like, you're fucking old. Like, you need to get your shit together. But then also, I'm not that old. I am, but I'm not,
Yeah, and I also think it's like a really like everyone probably has similar thoughts. Like,
right, but sometimes you see people that are like in their 20s or, early 30s, and they're just so well rooted into, something that you can tell they're getting so much fulfillment from. And I think that's something that I deeply crave, but I just haven't found the thing yet for me.
yeah.
So it comes though. That's what they say.
Yeah, well, and it's also like most people will say that it comes down to some component of having a community, finding your tribe, whatever that is, which is we're still looking for that somewhere.
Oh my God, we're the biggest misfits, both of us together.
The biggest loner misfits, yeah.
Yeah.
So they say, finding a tribe is a key component to that, and having a worthy challenge or something that's gonna push you.
I don't want to make it sound like we're completely just like miserable and unfulfilled though. Like, we have a really good life. We enjoy each other. We have fun. Like, we work a lot right now and have our challenges like any other couple. But
But I can verify that there is truth to that, because like, okay, we've got a nice place, a nice neighborhood, financially secure, blah, blah. But I would say that my happiness was the same when I was in prison. Like, of course, I didn't want to be there, and I had all these things that I wanted to do and blah, blah, blah. So like not being able to pursue the things that I wanted to was like miserable. But like having, because you have your little friend, you have your little prison friends, and you have your little, like there's a very
little prison friends.
Yeah, you got, it's just like a very little community based place, and you got your little group and your little thing, and you've got a place to sleep, and it's just like a very simple existence. And there's just like you wake up, you got your little group, and you work out and you read books, and that's
some
it.
people thrive in there because you have all the essential needs.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to be there any longer than I was.
Yeah.
But for the time that I was there, I mean, it wasn't like a Disneyland joyride,
No.
but overall, it's just like the camaraderie. Like, a lot of people in the military kind of say the same thing. They're like, in Iraq, they're in these terrible conditions, but when they come back here into their nice fancy homes with all their money, like, a lot of them want to go back to those terrible places because of that kind of like camaraderie and whatever. And it was kind of, I mean, I'm not going to say it was like Iraq in prison. It wasn't, but
Yeah.
The camaraderie aspect,
Yeah.
kind of similar. Anyway, so comments on this one.
Yeah, so a lot of people chiming in about like agreeing about the LA thing, like it's hard to kind of fit in sometimes. People are kind of like, not so friendly.
I mean, I'm sure it is different. Like, the male brain is probably a lot different than a female brain on this kind of stuff. For me, the biggest thing would be to like choose a challenge, like maybe to run a marathon, and then like, you just pursue that challenge, and that kind of like makes you feel like you're accomplishing something and making progress towards something, which increases your confidence, which increases your productivity, and it has that kind of like snowball effect. But yeah, I think
Well, this person's mentioning seasonal depression, Holy moly.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
That's a thing. I'm deeply affected by that. It's just started being a little more sunny here where we live recently, and I feel a major uptick in my vibe lately because of that. I fucking hate all the cloudy bullshit and the snow.
Yeah.
But like she's saying she's in LA, and we've seen like LA's been having more rain and stuff than they ever have in our lifetime anyways. That gets to you, especially if you're not used to it.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing we got. Okay, so you can.
Okay, this one is funny to me, but like this is serious but funny. The title is On the Spectrum Sellers, Please Help. And she writes, okay, so anyone else with autism sometimes not sure if they're being awkward responding to compliments. I hope I come across as quirky and charming, not just strange and off-putting, but does anyone have tips? Example, in response to someone saying that I look like I taste good, I told them it's because I drink a lot of water. I'm still not sure if this was the right response. This stuck out to me because we have had this conversation many times because I get fucking bent out of shape sometimes.
I think we're both on the spectrum in various ways. But also I think it's like trendy to be on the spectrum now. Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but like a lot of people are to some degree or another. But all I know is that for me, I haven't been diagnosed autistic, but I know that for me, there are times where I get paralyzed because I'm like so completely unsure of how to reply to something. And then I'll like turn to you and be like, oh my God, how would you respond to this? And you're just like this. And I'm like, are you kidding?
See, I'm more kind of like of the like it's a fantasy. If someone says you taste good, they haven't actually tasted you, so you don't need to like think about it or like realistic response. You're playing a role, so don't take any interactions literally or personally, and consider what they want to hear rather than reality. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, so that girl says her brand is Realistic Girl Next Door, which is like kind of my vibe too. So I try to make my conversations realistic too. People seem to respond better when I sound less porn bot and more real person. That's me.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, you don't want to sound like a porn bot, but for me, if somebody says anything, my response would be like, "Oh yeah, you think so?" Like that's like the default, no matter what they say. "Oh yeah, you think so?" And it makes contextual sense in almost every situation.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what we got. All right, so the last one here. Oh yeah, so these are just some of the popular OnlyFans scams, which have been around for a while, but I've been seeing a lot of people getting hit with these again recently. Okay, so this scam is the scam that gets run on creators a lot of times. If you get your OnlyFans account banned, so typically the scam is this, like, let's imagine you get your OnlyFans account banned. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to YouTube and you're going to start, searching for things like how to recover my banned account or whatever. And what these scammers do is they go to videos where creators are talking about that, and then they'll create a fake Telegram account of that creator. So in this case, let's say you had a YouTube video that's like, I got my OnlyFans account banned, and then here's how I got it back, whatever. Okay, so I'm the scammer. What I would do as the scammer is I would create a fake Telegram account of you, and then I would go to all the people in the comment section on your YouTube video, and I would say, hey, I can help you out. Send me a message on Telegram. And then all these people start sending me a message on Telegram. I'm like, oh yeah, for $1,000, I can recover your account. And so there's been a lot of situations where I get messages from people and they're like, this creator scammed me. And she told me she was going to get my banned account back, and she took, $1,000 and then 3 weeks goes by and the scammer will come back and say, oh, well, we need another $1,500 because blah, blah, whatever. So they end up getting scammed for thousands of dollars. And creators will come to me and they'll be like, this creator's a scammer. And I'm like, okay, well, that creator's probably not a scammer. What actually happened is there is a scammer that created a fake Telegram account under her identity and then suckered you in through her YouTube comments. Were you looking at a YouTube video? Yes. Did you respond to somebody in the comments? Yes. Okay, well, don't do that because all those people are scammers. They cannot recover your accounts if you get banned. So just be cautious.
That's never happened to me, but I have seen people talking about that. That sucks. I don't trust anyone, though. I say that all the time. So even if that did happen, I wouldn't fall for it.
Well, you've never had your OnlyFans account banned. But imagine, like, okay, if you're making, you're a single mom, you're making $10,000 a month or whatever, $5,000, $8,000, whatever. And then all of a sudden your OnlyFans account gets banned. And just like that, you have no income. You're going to go into like panic freak out mode.
Trust me, I would. I don't even have like little mouths to feed and I would still have a fucking heart attack.
Yeah. So you're going to be in desperation.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're going to start like going onto YouTube looking for a solution. And all of a sudden, this creator sends you a message like, hey, I can help you. It'll cost you $1,500. Like you're in panic mode and desperate. So you're like, okay, you give them money and then it's not actually the creator.
I still hate to say it, but I don't think I would. And I would probably just hire an attorney.
Yeah. I mean, that
would be my...
For anybody out there, here's the thing, like all these people that claim they can recover banned accounts, they don't have any more power than anybody else to recover banned accounts. They might be really good at prompting ChatGPT to create a appeal letter, but they don't have any more power than anybody else unless they actually like legit or work at TikTok or Instagram or OnlyFans, which is almost never the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next scam, this is for actual fans getting scammed. And this one's, probably most creators know about this one because it happens to almost everybody, where you have an Instagram account and then scammers will go out there and they'll create a fake Instagram account of you. And so, again, this is not creators getting scammed. This is actual fans getting scammed. So if you're a guy watching this, be careful of this one because it's very, very common. So, yeah, basically scammers will create a fake Instagram account of, whatever creator, whatever influencer. And then they'll start messaging you privately in the DMs and they'll basically go to that creator's account, they'll steal all of that creator's content, and then they'll try to start selling you that content through the DMs on Instagram, Cash App, Snapchat, just wherever. But they're not going to sell it on OnlyFans because obviously it's not the actual creator. So if you're a guy out there and you start getting DMs from some famous influencer who's trying to, chat with you and sell you content, just know that you're giving money to a scammer and that's not actually her.
I know it's so sad when I see, like really big creators and they're like, they're on live or whatever, or they're just making a video and they're like, please, I would never ask you for money. Any account that's not this one, just don't. I have just this one account. I would never ask you for money in the DMs. And I'm just like, fuck. That's super sad how many people. And then the creator ends up with the fans coming at them like, you fucking took however much money. And then she's like, what do you mean? It's just a nightmare, I'm sure.
Yeah, so guys out there, just don't buy stuff in the Instagram DMs, whatever. Just, it's probably not her.